the historic bells of Albany City Hall. Welcome to Albany Street, a public affairs presentation of Albany Broadcasting.
It is Super Bowl Sunday. Welcome to Albany Street. I'm Joe Condon, and this week we are honored to have with us Albany County Executive Dan McCoy, who is in his third year of doing a great job for Albany County, and the county is also celebrating its 330th birthday. County Executive McCoy, an honor to have you with us.
I'm honored to be here, especially on Super Bowl Sunday.
Well, that's the first question. Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'm rooting for both sides. How's that? My Giants aren't in it, so it's hard to watch.
It's going to be a kind of a tough day weather-wise down there. And up here, we've had a rough winter impacting Albany County. The snowplow drivers, the law enforcement officials, and the first responders, they're out there, and the weather is really challenging. How's it impacted the county?
It impacts us a lot because we have a DPW department that plows over 400 miles of county roads. You know, we have to keep them clear. We have to salt them. So it's, with this cold weather, it's been hard to keep the roads from being icy for the ice conditions because the temperature has to be above 20 for the salt to work on our roadways. So it's challenging because these temperatures have been at an all-time low. And
you have really two different counties to deal with. You have the urban part of Albany County, and then up in the Helderbergs, you've got the rural part. Different problems for both areas, right?
Correct. It's a big difference.
Speaking of the rural areas to the capital region, last summer, isn't it nice to use that word summer when it was warm?
Yes.
You started the Lawson's Lake Summer Camp in the Westerlo, Queens area. Tell us about that.
We had a camp that actually the Boys and Girls Club ran for many years. And my first year in office, I get a letter in May of 2012 telling me that they're going to shut the camp down within 2 weeks, that they just can't afford to maintain it and run it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, this is a shame. So I went out there and I looked at it, and, it's this beautiful preserve. It has over 400 acres. And I'm sitting there going, what are we doing? We have a lower camp and an upper camp, this beautiful little lake, and all these cabins. So I, rolled up my sleeves, and I said to the county sheriff, Apple, and our district attorney, Soros, I said, look, we got to put all of our offices together and make this work for the residents of Albany County. And you got to remember, we have this beautiful state park, Thatcher Park. And when I was a kid growing up in the city of Albany, in the inner city, we used to be able to take a CDTA bus for, 10 cents round trip, go up there for the day and go swimming all day. Well, the state closed the pool and never reopened it. So there's no place for inner city kids to go and kids out in the suburbs. So one of the things that I said, hey, wouldn't it be neat to open this up again and have CDTA take kids out to this lake and go out there and learn how to fish, learn how to hike, how to find your way around in the woods and do different crafts and different opportunities for them there. So we it took about a year. The three of us worked together. And we opened it up last year to a huge success. We not only did the Boys and Girls Club again, we did Catholic Charities, we did the Gay Pride Center. We opened it up to a variety of different groups, and we said to any kid in Albany County, if you want to go there, the only thing you had to do is fill out emergency contact information. And we were only doing a bus shuttle at that time from the Boys and Girls Club, but we'd get you out there and get you back home at the end of the day safely. And it was a huge success, so we're going to grow that program this year going forward.
Well, tell us about, was looking on your website, and you have some fantastic pictures of yourself on stage at Waldman Lodge with the Boys and Girls. Tell us about Waldman Lodge.
That, it was interesting. We went in there, and here was a building that has a stage, full operational kitchen, and it was just really used as a shack. People, they just stored things over there and over many, many years, probably over the last 2 decades. So we went in there and we cleaned it up. And we found off the stage, which was interesting, was people wrote their names back in the 1958 to 1960s, and what a wonderful summer. And we captured all that. And with the help of the sheriffs and the inmates, we cleaned it up. With volunteers came forward. The Boy Scouts came forward and helped out. So it was a huge success getting the lower camp opened up right away. But I got to tell you, that there's the charm and the heritage there is just phenomenal to the people of Albany County.
Well, you brought up my next question. You alluded to Thatcher State Park, and it was Bernadette Castro during the Governor Pataki administration that closed the Thatcher Park pool and said we're going to rebuild it, and hasn't happened. Any chance that the Thatcher pool is going to be Governor Cuomo going to reopen that or rebuild it?
I got to tell you, it was a huge disappointment when Pataki shut this pool down. They shut it down, and they said they were going to redo it and make it a pad, so kids a spray pad and a smaller pool. It never happened. It happened in Saratoga. It didn't happen for us here in Albany County. I wish we fought it more. It's beyond that. Governor Cuomo has came into office. He has cleaned up the park. I mean, it was a pile of cement that was left from the pool.
Mm-hmm.
They finally cleaned that, and they're going to reutilize it. They've had meetings out in the town of New Scotland and in the hill towns in Burnox, Westerlo, to discuss what's the best use for the property. So they're doing a variety of things they're going to do, like zip lines, meeting space. So it's not going to be what I was used to growing up as a kid, but it's gonna have a new use and a new life. So that's very important.
Super Bowl Sunday. The program is Albany Street. If you just joined us, our guest this week is Albany County Executive Dan McCoy. Talking about finances and getting Thatcher Park up to where it was before, what is the financial situation in Albany County these days?
When I took office 2 years ago, and what I kept saying to the people that elected me, and when I went around and did my listening tour, I said to everyone, I go, look, we have to do things differently. The way we've run government for the last 30, 40 years has to change. We have to look at every program. We have to look at every dollar that we spend. I took over, we had a $17 million deficit. Our surplus was at an all-time low. Before the Great Recession, we had a surplus of $48 million. When I took over, we had less than $15 million in our reserves. In a county our size with a $600 million budget, our reserves should be about $50 million, conservatively. So one of the things I did was to really kind of pull out the tree, shake off, the roots, and replant it, and looked at every program. And I said, I go, here, I laid out a 3-year plan to get to the cap.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, the governor championed a 2% cap. Everyone wants it. They want to be under it. We want to lower taxes, but continue the services. No one wants to give up their services. That's the funniest thing, because you're like, well, hey, we might have to cut this. Well, no, I want you to still plow my road, but I don't want to pay for it anymore. And I get that. So we had to do things differently. And with my roadmap to recovery, we actually hit the cap within 2 years, and I was proud to have the lowest tax increase under the cap.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. For the first time in 5 years, we raised taxes 1.6%, and it was phenomenal.
Now, I was reading in the paper this week that you would like the State Financial Restructuring Panel to take a look at Albany County's financial situation, but you have to seek permission from the Albany County Legislature to bring the county before the restructuring panel. You want to explain that to our listeners?
Here's and I keep saying this. I've gotten some criticism because from fellow politicians and other people in Albany County, because I refer to Albany County as a business. I know we're a government, and we're not there to make a profit, but I said we should strive to make a profit in Albany County, because every time we make money in a program, that's a less taxes I have to raise the following year to pay for that program, and I can still continue that great service. So what I'm doing now is part 2, and I want to back to part 1 before I answer your question. And part 1 was I went to Tom DiNapoli, who's a great controller for the state of New York. I met with him for lunch in December of 2012, and I said, Tom, I need to audit all my departments. I said I took over from my predecessor, who was there for 17 years. I said I really want to know where all the programs were. We really in 2 years shook up every department, but I still want to make sure we're doing everything correctly. So he put 2 state controllers in our building in January of 2013. Joe, they're just finishing up a year later now. Mm-hmm. If you told me over a year ago at lunch that they would still be there, I'd say, yeah, you're crazy. But they're there, and we're going to get a good report from the controller's office on how we can do things differently or what's working, what's not. So when this financial control board came out, and I looked at it and I read it, we don't meet the requirements. I like to pat myself and my team, because it's a team effort in Albany County. The commissioners, the workers, who helped me turn the county around, the legislators that helped me turn the county around, and we went from a $17 million deficit. I got it down to 10.5 this year, and there's only 2 ways of doing that: raising property taxes or True Savings, and we got it through True Savings. And the other thing we did was, with all this going on, and I looked at it, and our surplus went from $15 million, and our surplus is at $32 million as of today, which is no small feat. And we also put money into our debt services, which hasn't been done in 7 years. But I looked at the board and I go, we don't meet the requirement. We're healthy. We're doing better. Our bond rating went up. We're doing the right things. But it also states in that when they released it that they encourage you to go in front of them because there's upwards of $5 million they will give you to look at your finances. And if they find something wrong, they're going to give you the money to correct it. So I submitted an RLA to the legislature January 14th. Actually, the letter was dated the 14th, but they received it on the 15th, and basically requesting that we go in front of this board because what do we have to lose? If we're doing something wrong, I want to correct it. We owe it to the people of Albany County. And if we're not doing anything wrong, great for us. But if there is something and they identify something wrong, they're going to give us up to $5 million to fix it. That's a win-win situation for me as county executive, and that means I don't have to raise taxes in 2014.
Does the county legislature seem inclined, or is it too early to tell yet?
I don't think some of them are happy about it, and I think because they're scared, because someone's going to be looking at our books, and I'm okay with that. Same thing when, I talked to Tom DiNapoli, and he's like, hey, he goes, what we find is what we find. There's no sugarcoating. And I said, I know that, Tom, and I don't expect you to. But I want to know what I inherited. I want to know what's working and what's not. And it's the same thing with this board. It's an extra set of eyes looking at your homework assignment. It's like when your kids come home and you look at their, you help them with their homework and you send it in. Well, your kid reviewed it. You reviewed it, and now the teacher's reviewing it. And it just gives that extra look at our books to say, hey, look, things are great or they're not great, and you need to fix this for the taxpayers.
Got to take a break. The program is Albany Street Sunday morning, Super Bowl Sunday. I'm Joe Condon. Our guest this week is Albany County Executive Dan McCoy. We'll be back in a moment.
Albany Street, a public affairs presentation of Albany Broadcasting.
Welcome back. I'm Joe Condon. It is Super Bowl Sunday, and we are honored to have with us because the Super Bowl party at his house is in the afternoon. Albany County Executive Dan McCoy is with us on this Sunday morning, and we're learning a lot about Albany County as the county celebrates its 330th birthday.
Yes, 330. Can you believe it? We've been around that long?
Well, have we? What county has
1683. I mean, it seems like it's around the corner. And, what a lot of people don't realize, too, is Albany County used to be part of Greene County. We went all the ways down to Ulster County at one point in time back in the day. That's how big we really were. We shrank over the last, couple decades.
Well, you're kind of setting up my next question.
Yep.
When I went to your birthday party down at the Times Union Center, I was with then County Clerk Tom Klingon, and he had all kinds of documents. And one of the documents revealed that Martha's Vineyard was originally a part of Albany County.
Yes. Imagine that. We need to get it back.
Well, that's what I'm going to ask you as county executive. Are you going to try to get our island back from Massachusetts?
Yeah, we might have to do that. We're gonna have discussions and open up dialogue.
Now, if Massachusetts doesn't agree to give us our island back, you are a member of the New York Army National Guard. Any chance, and the New York Guard is much better than Massachusetts, any chance that you might lead the National Guard in combat into Massachusetts and get our island back?
I don't want to scare your listeners, but the New York Army National Guard is by far more superior than Massachusetts.
Well, so if they won't agree to give us our island back, is Dan McCoy going to go over and capture it and bring it back?
We might have to. We might have to capture our island. We need our island back.
That is right. So Pittsfield, you may want to let Boston know because we get into Pittsfield. Okay, that was the question that we had been waiting to ask you. But seriously, I didn't realize, like you mentioned, Albany County was much bigger than it is now.
Yeah, we were a really big county back in the day.
Tri-Record did a very nice article on you recently about a juvenile detention alternative plan, which you've worked out with LaSalle Institute on Western Avenue in Albany. It's your plan to redirect youth away from being placed in a secure detention facility. Want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, one of the things is that, as county executive, and we look at our youth, and you see right now we're talking about adults, kids not being trialed at the ages, 16, 17, 18 as adults. So one of the things that I said as county executive, on top of that program, is like a project growth thing that we're doing, is keeping kids out of detention centers. Because right now we spend so much money, and what do we gain at the end of the day, right? You take a child and you put them into detention center. Are we rehabbing them? Are we getting them where they come back out and they're not going to reoffend? So one of the things that we've been working on is saying, hey, look, let's do things to alternative of locking them up. Let's run a program where they won't go to a juvenile detention center for 30 days or 60 days or, a year, that they'll try a different program. And if it's successful, it's better than putting them in incarceration.
And how does that plan seem to be working so far? I know it's been going on in the state for a while.
Yes, this is a partnership with OCFS in the state of New York, and we're working in conjunction with them. And so far, knock on wood, it's been working. But again, this is on top of, we have this new thing we launched in Albany County. It's the first in the state of New York. We're the first county. It's called Project Growth. And Project Growth is the same thing. When a juvenile defendant gets sentenced, right, and the judge is going to say to him, hey, look, here's a fine. You broke someone's window, and it's going to cost you $500. Well, it falls back on the parent or the guardian of that kid that has to pay it. So one of the things we did was we teamed up with Siena College, UAlbany, St. Rose, the downtown business bid, and we're going to take that child and we're going to give them a skill, and we're going to teach them a job, and 40% of their paycheck is going to go pay that person that they did this to, and they're going to have to go in person, and they're going to have to say, here you go, here's a check, for $40, until they pay that bill off, to show them the value of money, but show them the value, most importantly, of saying, look what I did, I hurt this person. And I didn't realize, what I've done. And maybe that turns their life around. It's another instance of, instead of incarcerating them and putting that stigma on their record for the rest of their life, this can really be the tipping point in a child's life.
Speaking of teaching kids, you recently turned your office over, and it's now a classroom to Schenectady Community College, and a lot of good feedback on that.
There really is. I got to tell you, one of the things as county executive, and I did this listening tour when I first got in office, was that, look, we have a lot of inner cities as well as suburbs, but we have a lot of inner cities, and I said, look, we need to make it more accessible for the inner city kids, and we need to bring a college downtown Albany. And, I was on the second floor, 112 State Street of our county building, and I partnered up with Schenectady Community College, Denise Murphy-McGraw, and then President Bullock, and we made it happen. Within a short year, we just opened up the doors. January 14th, I believe, was our first class, and 10,000 square feet, remodeled the whole thing for a tune of $1.3 million, paid by Schenectady, and we're offering classes in downtown Albany. It's been a huge hit. Kids love it. They can walk to take their classes, but most importantly, we partnered with CDTA. And you'll get any kid in Albany County that goes to classes in that building will get a free bus pass. And within 20 minutes with the Bus Plus, they can be at the campus in downtown Schenectady taking a class within 20 minutes and, working out the bus schedule. So it was one of the things we really thought about, convenience. And what inner city people love is they like mass transit, They like it, they like taking buses, or they like walking, or they like riding their bikes. And we're promoting green here in this county. So we want you to walk and ride bikes and save energy, So it's been phenomenal so far. I'm very excited about this whole
How's your enrollment so far?
The enrollment, here's the funny thing. We were fighting with, not fighting with, but the chancellor's office. You has to decide what your enrollment can be. We said when we launched this there was going to be 1,000 kids. They capped us at like 350. I'd have to ask Schenectady because I forgot off the top of my head what the enrollment was, but the classes have started and the enrollment's looking good. It's only going to get stronger.
Program is Albany Street. I'm Joe Condon. Our guest this week on Super Bowl Sunday is Albany County Executive Dan McCoy. We got some international publicity this week with David Allen Miller winning a Grammy. Is that going to help tourism when he comes back from the Capital Region? Absolutely.
This is so exciting. Right here in downtown Albany at our Palace Theater, and they've done a phenomenal job over the years, and I was so excited when he won the Grammy on Sunday night, and seeing him on the red carpet, guys from Del Mar, really doing a great job, and people are going to come here. They have a phenomenal program, and it's only going to enlighten the arts culture here in Albany County.
Speaking of tourism, Michelle Vennard is head of Albany County Tourism. How does tourism for the summer of 2014 look?
Well, we're hoping it's going to be looking up. One of the problems is that we're still coming out of this Great Recession. People are hesitant on driving. We're hoping that they want to come to the capital region and explore the great things here, not just in Albany County, because it is about the capital. But one of the things in Albany, you got the state capitol, you got the YAG, you got the Empire State Plaza, but we got a convention center finally the Governor Cuomo signed off on, and we're going to be building, and we're enhancing the Times Union Arena. Myself and Frank and Sean Morris, the chair of the legislature, are going to be doing a big announcement on the enhancements of the TU to attract more sporting events here. We got the NCAA's coming back. We have wrestling coming back. The MAC tournament finally came back. The women's basketball, so it's phenomenal.
Well, you've got Darius Rucker, Kanye West, Justin Timberlake, and Bruno Mars, who's singing today down in Joyce, but he's coming to Albany as well. So, wow, you got big names coming to the capital region this summer.
We really do. We got a great lineup, this year for Albany County and for the capital region, and I really want to. It highlights all of Albany, and it highlights the capital region because people aren't just coming here and staying here; they're staying all in Saratoga, Schenectady, Rensselaer, and it's about all of us working together.
How's things with the Albany County International Airport? What's the latest on that?
Our international airport is it's doing well. Employments are down. Things are changing that industry all the time. They've done a good job staying ahead of the curve. John O'Donnell, who's the CEO of the Airport Authority, who took over for John Egan, has shown great leadership out there. It's a tough, you're competing. We're competing constantly with Hartford. We're competing with, even JFK, Boston. People will drive there to get cheaper fares. It's just one of these industries that you have to stay on top of.
One thing which started to take notice last summer when on July 6th, when there was a big accident, a rail accident up in Quebec, which took 47 lives. And since then, there have been accidents in North Dakota and Philadelphia, rail accidents. Folks are very concerned about the trains. And I live in Menands, and when you live in Menands, you're within a half a mile of the railroad tracks. There's a lot of oil that's very flammable now going through the capital region, and you've been talking with folks about that.
Yeah, I wrote a letter to the DEC to extend the public hearings for people. What a lot of people don't realize is that this is federally regulated. And thank goodness for Chuck Schumer, Senator Schumer, because he's been all over this issue, and on top of him as well, Senator Gillibrand. So, it's good to hear from the constituents in Albany County. Keep up the noise. Carolyn McLaughlin, the president of the Common Council, has been doing a phenomenal job for downtown city residents. It is an issue, and first and foremost is the safety of the people of Albany County, and we want to make sure that if they're coming through here, they're meeting the federal standards, they're meeting all their safety standards, and first we have to protect everybody. And hey, look, we understand that it's going to help the economy, we understand that it's going to grow the port, but most importantly, it's about protecting the environment and protecting our people are the two most important things here. Through these hearings that not only we're going to have here locally, but what Senator Schumer and Gillibrand are going to be doing, I feel at the end will be a great end result. We
got about 15 seconds left. Anything Albany County, I almost go to Assemblyman, Albany County Executive Dan McCoy wants to say?
I want to say this to your listeners. Go to our website, albanycounty.com. It is one of the most progressive websites in the state of New York. We have see-through Albany County, not just see-through New York. We have see-through Albany County. You can see where your tax dollars are going. We have who takes home cars, who has cell phones, how we spend your budget, and most importantly, the 43 unfunded mandates that we get from the state of New York with no say in how that really affects our budget. But without people participating, and without people getting behind and letting us know what their concerns are, we can't fairly elect them. You can complain about politicians all day long, but if you don't voice your concern and you don't say, hey, look, this is what I want, this is what we need, shame on you.
Albany County Executive Dan McCoy, thank you so much for joining us on Super Bowl Sunday, and I hope your team, whatever it is, wins.
Thank you.
I'm Joe Condon. Have yourself a wonderful day, and we hope your team wins too.